utilities is based on the energy meters. Energy meters, now when you look at the past, it was electromechanical meters once upon a time, now replaced with both mechanical and electronics together meters are coming, were installed, later on replaced by static meters. Now, Government of India is very keen of rolling out smart meter implementation all over the nation. As a part of that, we already installed some pilot projects. About 25 pilot projects were installed, taken place all over India at different states, and they have implemented successfully. Now, when we come across smart meters, what is the difference between static meters and smart meters? When you call smart, a meter, anything, any appliance, if you add a communication to that appliance, then it becomes a smart. So here in this case, for meters also, we are adding, in case of smart meters, we are adding not only communication, but also load switch. That means, in case, if there is any problem, maybe non-payment of bill or drawing more power by the consumer, or any other reasons, or tampering, if they found to be tampered or found to be malfunctions in the meter, then the meter has to be disconnected and the consumer shall be disconnected from the grid, power supply distribution system. For that, meters are equipped with load switch also. Well, so how do you ascertain the performance of the meter in the field? It is very delicate. It is again electronic equipment and microprocessor based electronic equipment, which is also having both it will be having both metrological part, communication part, as well as load switching, that is electrical parameters. Load switch performance has to be verified. When we are verifying, how to verify, how do we ascertain that? It is possible only by means of testing. In case of testing, first actually I am having some problem. So actually my sheet is metrology testing. That sheet I have not yet got. My people are getting it. I will show it later. Actually, it has to be shown fast. But now I am going for DLMS testing. That means protocols and functional testing. We are going to brief about smart metering. In smart metering, generally the applicable standards for the whole smart meters 16444 part 1 and part 2 are applicable. 16444 part 1 is for static meters with of class 1 and class 2 accuracy. And there are two types of energy meters. One is direct connected meters, other one is with CT and PT. That means in case of HT consumers, like in industries, whole current meters are not very good. Maximum allowable direct current is 100 amps, but normally available meters are 5 ampere or 10 ampere in case of single phase. In case of three phase, high basic, normally we call it as a high basic. High basic is 10 amps. In case of three phase, it is 10 amps or 20 ampere, or some utilities go for 30 amps also. But normally, in my experience, I have not seen any meter more than 30 amps in case of three phase meters, and I have not seen any meter more than 5 ampere in case of single phase meters. So, and normally the reference voltage is 240 volts. Reference voltage is 240 volts. in case of CT based, CTPT based meters, the accuracy is 0.2, 0.5 and 1 accuracy class. That is, higher accuracies are possible using CTs and PTs. Now, coming to protocol testing of smart energy meters, we have the applicable standards are 15959 part 1 and part 2. Part 1 is static meter, part 2 is again for load switch, that means meters with transformer operated. Part 3 is for smart 3-phase meters. Part 2 is for 3-phase meters. Part 3 is for transformer operated smart meters. But in all the cases, we have to verify communicability as well as functional requirements. So static meter is with here I have explained static meter plus load switch plus communication module together is called static meter plus load switch plus communication module together, and under some cases in-house display is optional. That means what is the consumption? It will show only consumption. No, it won't show any details of the meter or tamper events. It won't show any other than the power consumption. And part 15959 part 3 is not applicable. Okay. The basic static meter, the architecture of the basic static meters is like this: a meter category ABC categories with optical port, and this is optical port, and this is a wired ports, maybe through DC or DC, and data connector or data communication equipment. In this case, it has to anything wired, it has to go through the BCs to the control center. All smart meters are connected directly to control centers through HES, head-end systems. It is called head-end systems. In case of smart meters, what will happen? This DC and DC is replaced with communication NAND module. Again, IHD is optional. Load switch is additional in this. That means data exchange protocol, everything is same. Only communication type is NAND module. This is again it is going to HES. HES is nothing but the data center. It is connected through DCU or network element. In case of WAN module, there are two modules: NAND module and WAN module. In case of NAND module, it is NAND is connected. In NAND module is used. In case of WAN module, there is no DCU or network. It is directly connected to HES because communication is through GPS or GPRS. Because of that, the communication is directly connected to HES directly, data center. Again, the remaining architecture is same. The servers category, the meters are categorized in 4 categories, smart meters: D1, D2, D3, and D4. The D1 is category of static meters connected with whatever smart meters. Static, whatever, that is whole connected meter. That means no CTs or PTs are used. In case of D2, again it is same, but it is for 3-phase. Instead of single phase, if it is single phase, it is D1. It is 3-phase, it is D2. In case of D3, it is transformer operated, maybe LVHV or CTPT, whatever it is. That means in case of high current, it is CT is used. In case of high voltage, more than 240 volts. 450 volts in case of 3-phase. Then D3 it will be categorized as D3. In case of D4, that is boundary meters. What is meant by boundary meters? Just I want to give a brief introduction. Boundary meters are used at the transformer. That means to the sector, it is one boundary meter is used. That means the overall consumption of the power from the distribution system, that particular distribution system, it will be recorded. Even this is also connected to the data center. It is these D4 meters are in addition to D1, D2 or D3, anyone depending upon the consumer requirement. Most probably in simple commercial flats and small apartments, D1 meters are used. In case of bungalows and other big residential and commercial big bungalows and commercial places, D2 will be used. D3 for industries. Now, coming to metering under test, how it will be configured? What are the tools? Not only along with the smart meter, we need all these files and hardware and the software, as well as hard copies for carrying out the testing. What is that? First one is confirmation test information. That means this file is used for connecting the meter to HES end, maybe WAN or LAN, both NAN, NAN or WAN. In case of functional tests, some of the meter has to perform some of the functions. Those functions also to be verified. Those functions also to be verified in DLMS testing. Though for that, what are the list of functions it can perform? The list will be available in this functional test information. We need both hard and soft copies of conformance test information as well as functional test information. Then image file, old and new. What is meant by image file? When I am one meter is installed, or one meter is in, say, one smart meter is already installed in the field. When it is installed, and a manufacturer or utility wants to upgrade the version, whatever the installed in the version, with some additional features, it has to upgrade that. Then what it has to have is image file. The file required is called image file. Through image file, we will be able to upload into the smart meters. So once it is uploaded, we should verify the old file. What is the status? Is it correct or not? And then we upload with a new file. Then we will know, yes, the new file is installed and it is actually working. So tamper latches, like there are many tampers. Maybe magnet. The commonly used tamper is magnet. Maybe tampering by mobile signal, maybe or TV remote or AC remote, any remote. Using remote signal, also people try to tamper it. In such cases, in case of tampering, it should not. Either it should be immune or it should be regarded IMAX. I will tell you what is the IMAX later. When it comes, I will explain you what is the IMAX. Then communication cables. All required communication cable. When communication cable in case of optical, in case of WAN, I don't need any communication for this thing, but in case of optical communication, I need to have communication cables. IP configuration procedures. Each, in case of in every smart meter is act as a server. Every smart meter will act as a one server, and HES is worked as a client. All HES will, all DC units will work as a client, but smart meter itself is a server. When it is server, it should have a IP address. This IP address shall be configured. This procedure, this IP procedure, IP configuration procedure will vary from meter to meter, and we need this configuration procedures depending upon the manufacturer, whatever and the communication module. I said NAN or WAN, and its supporting accessories as and details is required for the testing. Then smart meter are having 6 associations. It is based on the 4 blue books, 4 colored books: yellow book, green book, blue book, and white book. These are defined. Each book define different characters of the meters, what it should have, how the format, transmission of the data, what are the format it should have, what is the length of the packet size. Everything is defined in all these 4 books. So public client, PC, we call it as a public client. That means this public client is freely available to everybody, user or meter reader or utility people. It gives general information about the meter, like what is the make, what is the serial number, what is the iBasic and iMax. Please, I want to emphasize here, iBasic is different from iMax. Normally, we call it as 5-30. In case of 5-20, in case of single phase meter. That means 5 ampere is basic current, IB. It is abbreviated as IB, and iMax, I maximum is 30 amps. In case of tamper, it will be immune. It starts immune recording at iBasic, or it will record at iMax. That means it will record at 30 amps. If it is a 30 amps, iMax is 30 amps, then it will record at 30 amps. That means it is a loss to the consumer himself. So better not to do. Ethically also it should not be done. And push. Why push is required? What is push? If some information is to be pushed to the HES by the meter, then this feature is required. It will push the data to the HES. What is data to be pushed? In case of it crosses the maximum demand. At the time of sanctioning the connection load, each manufacturer, each user, consumer will be given MD value. Simple domestic is 3 kilowatt, 4 kilowatt, 5 kilowatt. In case of industries, commercial or industries, it will go to 1000 kilowatt also, based on the requirement of the consumer. When it crosses the maximum demand, then it should give alert to the HES. This is possible through push feature. Why push maximum demand is to be pushed? The question is, because everybody simultaneously in peak hours, in case of residential areas, normally 7 to 9, 7 to 10 is the peak hours. If everybody started drawing more than the maximum demand, then there will be over current and over maximum demand from the distribution transformer, that is DT, and the distribution system may fail. Otherwise, in case of industries, the morning 9 to 6, if all started at the same time, if everybody starts drawing more current, power from the grid, then grid will get collapsed. So this is to make alert the HES. There is a crossing the limits, or in case of tamper, the event will be updated to the HES. Firmware. In case of firmware, used only for firmware upgradation only. firm grade updation is for, as I said, image files. Time to time, when the utility wants to update, firmware updation is required. In-house display, it is again I said it is a optional. It will show only the limited parameters. In-house display will show the value of maximum demand or push selected parameters or push read or write utility messages and read only identification objects. Now coming to this meter reader and utility settings. Why these two things I skipped by oversight. Meter reader will be given some permissions which are like any case of tamper or any case of meter reading, something like that, it will be known to the meter reader, but not to the public client. In case of utility settings, all meters, all parameters A to Z, when it was done, when the billing, last billing was done, when next billing has to be done, what is the load survey of the particular consumer, all details are available with the utility settings. SNRM, set normal reactive mode. Set normal reactive mode. What is meant by that? If meter is not responding, then testing cannot be possible. Or HES and head-end system will not able to recognize the meter itself. So SNRM is must. And unnumbered UM is unnumbered acknowledgement. That is unnumbered, but acknowledgement should be there. Yes, there is. It is responding. Yes, I am responding. It is nothing but handshaking signal. Object listed download. That means we are listing the all objects. That means what are the objects implemented by the manufacturer. All the objects, it should able to give. This object list download is able to give all the features implemented in the meter by the manufacturer. It again depends upon the utility. Depending upon the utility requirements, object list will be changing. Association properties. All properties associated with the meter and testing and protocol communications, all properties will be defined in this file. Security. Low level security and high level security. In previous slide, I have shown that meter reader and the utility setting. Meter reader is able to read meter reading, but a public client cannot read it. Why? He has given low level password. So meter reader can able to read using low level security password, username and password. In case of utility, it is a high level. It is able to see and record everything. So it is high level security. TOU settings. It is very important. Without that, time is one of the important factors. When the event occurred, when the tamper occurred, when maximum demand occurred, all these things based on the TOU settings only. So TOU settings is set. Once set means it is set. It cannot be changed. Only by utility it is able to change. TOU settings is changeable only by utility. Billing period and counter. In some of the states, normally it is majority of the utilities are using billing period as 1 month. In case small, except 1 or 2 utilities, they are doing bi-monthly billing. They are making bi-monthly billing. In case of bi-monthly billing, they have to maintain 6 bills. That means 1 year billing. That is counter is helpful. How many billings it has got, it will be indicated in the counter. In case of monthly billing, it will be shown in 1 month billing. It will be shown in monthly basis. Means in the last 1 year, that is 12 months period of that is 1 year period of billings. All 12 billings will be available with the HES data center. So billing period and counter is important. These are the test cases, and what I'm discussing is all test cases. General purpose parameters like nameplate parameters, pre-programmable parameters. Sorry, how to maximize that? Okay. Instantaneous parameters. Instantaneous parameters means at this instance, what is the power factor, what is the load, what is the voltage, what is the current, all those things. Instantaneous parameters also you should be able to send it to HES, hidden system. Block load profile parameters. Block load. Normally, block load, block is defined by the utility. Normally, the utilities will define as 30 minutes as a one block. Rarely, sometimes 50 minutes also it will be defined. Block starts from 12, yeah, 12:30. In case of 30 minutes, 12, 12:30, 1, 1:30, 2, 2:30, something like that. It confuses. So in that block, what are the parameters? What are the MD value? All other parameters will be, yeah, tamper events, everything will be recorded in the block period. In billing profile, sorry, it is a sequence changed after block daily load. Every day, daily basis also, records shall be made available to the HES. So in daily load profile, all the data is available. In billing profile, every month, in case of monthly, it is 1 month. In case of bi-monthly, for 2 months, it will be build all parameters. What are all the parameters related to the meter consumption? It will be available. Event conditions. In case of voltage, current, for example, in case there is a power cut, in present scenario, we have to call fuse of call office and then intimate them there is no power in our block or in our apartment, in our area, or whatever the case may be. But because of event conditions, the parameters will be known to the hidden system. Immediately there is no voltage. If there is no voltage to the block, it will be known immediate. Then they will be able to send the landman, or if they are able to make or close the command breakers or close the breakers or something like that, they can able to close the breakers. All this are possible remotely. Some of the actions are possible remotely. Some of the rectifications are possible in the field. That time, landman will be sent or deputed to the field, and the fault will be identified and rectified. So this is the advantage of event condition. Selective access by range or by entry. Selective access. What is meant by selective access? For example, my requirement is 240. Line voltage is 240 plus or minus 5%. Yeah, 10%. If it, so I can set my access my range value 240 volts plus or minus 10%, or I basic I max in case of I basic and I max 20% of I max I can allow. Beyond that, I should beyond that within 15 minutes I should be able to get the alarm. Then it will give alarm instantaneously. It will go. But in case of setting, that is also possible. 5 minutes it will be allowed. Again it will trip. Again after 5 minutes it will switch on. Again it will trip. If it is exceeding 20% of I max, it will trip immediately, and it will wait for 5 minutes. Again reconnect it and try to reconnect it. If it is persisting, if fault or maximum demand is still existing, again it will trip. Again it will be for again 5 minutes. Again we'll check. Again it will trip for 5 seconds. 3 times it will give alarm. to the consumer by tripping. Even if it is failed third time also, it will block, it will be off for block period. As I said, block load profile. So if it is a 15 minutes, it is 15 minutes, it will be off. In case of 30 minutes block, for 30 minutes it will be off. Again it will reconnect it. So it will repeats, so that there will be no maximum demand on the grid. Ultimately, grid protection is also very important. So in case of smart, not only implementation of a smart grid in the power systems, power supply systems, but also maintaining the smart grid is also vital important. It is vital and important. But for that, this smart meter is a it plays a very crucial role. And in the starting itself, I said, smart meter, yeah, any energy meter is a cash box to the utility. Why it is a cash box? The revenue to the utility is based on the meter reading only. So it is definitely a asset. It is a cash box to the utility. Now, under programmable, so coming to the testing parameters, under programmable parameters, I should able to operate the load switch. That is enabled means I made a switch on. Disabled means I made it open remotely also. So enabling and disabling the load limits functions should be verified. That parameter will be verified through DLMS. Through direct contact also will verify, as through communication also will verify. In both the cases, it should function properly. Load limit, as I said, maximum demand load limit, that it will be a flag. It will give a flag. Again, image transfer for upgradation of the firmware. Whatever the firmware used, your program embedded inside the meter is called firmware. So that firmware upgradation is possible through image transfer file only. Metering mode. Why metering mode? Some of the smart meters are connected with, some of the consumers are equipped with natural, energy resources, renewable energy resources, In case of energy resources like power plant, solar plant or windmill or anything, then they are able to, in case of excess of power, they will be able to pump or export to the utility. In such case, the meter should be able to programmable in both import mode and export mode. Import means we are drawing the power from the utility. In export mode, we are pumping the power from consumer premises to grid. So this mode is we can able to set. This is possible through the event called metering mode. Payment mode. Again, as in case of mobile, as all of us know, it is a prepayment or post-payment. All the payment modes are possible in case of smart meters also. Again, MD reset, ESWS, that is okay. Global key change. This is now it is not correct time to explain. These are common features like last token change, recharge, when it is recharged last time, when it is last token recharge, total amount last recharge, all this. These are the general parameters are used in the thing. Okay, actually it is a confusion. This is one part of my presentation. If you, I would like to receive questions after completion of my presentation. But what is the time limit? I don't know, sir. Shanmugam, sir, can you update me about the status of time?
Sir, still time is there, sir. Half an hour.
So, shall I continue with protocol testing also?
Yeah, yes, sir. Please.
Sir, I will take 2 minutes, sir, because I have to download. I have changed to my system. I have come to other place no software and hard copy is with me. Now I have to download and make a presentation.
Yeah, please.
2 minutes I need, sir.
Okay, okay, sir.
What is it? ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್ ಅವ್ರು ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ
ಇಲ್ಲ ಈ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಬರಬೇಕಲ್ಲ
ಅದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಬನ್ನಿ ಸಾಕು ಅವ್ರು ಬಂದೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ ಆ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನೀವು ಅವ್ರು ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರು ಕಾಣ್ತಿದೆ they are able to see this. Chairman sir, can you see my presentation, sir? PPT now?
Now it has gone. PPT is there, something.
Now it has gone.
Sir, you do enable editing, sir, there in your presentation. You have not done that well. Yeah. Okay, sir. Fine.
screen or new screen, sir?
I'm unable to edit, sir.
No, now it is visible, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
New presentation only visible, sir?
Type test is available. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I could have shown this presentation first,
Yeah.
but due to technical sag we have interchanged it. This is common, apart from the basic functionalities of meter, maybe a smart meter or a static meter or electromechanical meter, whatever it is. The functionalities of meter to be verified through type testing, and also we should verify the functionality of load switch. Both together is called type testing. Of course, in as per 164, even protocol testing is also a part of type test. In case of static meters, DLMS test, that is protocol test, is not a part of type test, but it is mandatory in case of smart meters. What is about the background, type test requirements, evaluation, their significance and conclusions I am going to cover. Background. Okay, I have already covered this and time is also very short. I just everybody knows it. Accreditation laboratory. Okay, one thing is very important, that all our test facilities, both type test, DLMS test and load switch testing, all are accredited by NABL and DEWA, Dubai Electricity and Water Supply Authority. That is our facilities are recognized by DEWA also. Dubai, it is used in Dubai as well as NABL. Next one is, most important one is BS. For BS accreditation, if anybody wants to get their meter or product certified, then they can approach us. They can approach CPRI for their testing needs. BS certification is possible on the pre-test or pre-qualification of fulfilling the requirements of testing requirements of relevant standards at CPI. So that is also very vital important. And electronic meters. Previously we are having electronic meters, and they were replaced electromechanical meters in the past. Now it is a general block diagram. Voltage and current, of course, power factor is integrated, and then multiplier. So it is power. If it is integrated, then energy. These will be recorded. Based on the energy consumption, a utility is able to bill the consumer. Smart meter. Okay, again, I will come to the conclusion. A, B, C, D. All four features. In case of static meters, only metering is there. In case of prepayment meters, all metering and load switch was there. But in case of smart meters, A, B, C, D, metering protocol and communication modules also there, sir. This is very important, sir. This I want to emphasize. In my previous slide, I have shown what is the LAN WAN technologies and what is the RF. In case of static meters, RF communication was there. That is replaced by NAN or WAN. In case of WAN, it is directly GPS. It is directly connected to HES sensor, head-end system. In case of NAN, it is connected through DCU, data concentrating unit. Okay, sir. Coming to smart meters, it is again a static meters that we have already discussed. Functions of smart meters. What it has to do? This has to perform real-time registration of electricity in both input and export modes. Second is enabling, I will read out fast, enabling the remote accessibility of consumption data, allowing changing of tariff in response to price changes. That means if now in 24 hours, whenever I consume more, electricity board, utility is not charging me anything. But in foreign countries, in peak hours, if you draw more, the tariff is different based on the different time slots. So this is possible. This setting the tariff or changing the tariff is possible remotely through using communication and in smart meters. Ability to change of payment method, prepayment and post-payment, allowing load and limiting and shedding the demand response time. As I said, it will disconnect the consumer and wait for 5 minutes. Then again, after 5 minutes, again it will connect. That cycle will be repeated. Detecting the and notifying tamper alerts, receiving service messages. There is a power cut. The head-end system will be able to receive the information, notification. Power quality monitoring. That means if there is a power voltage, but it is less than the permissible limits. In the previous slides we have seen that we can set the range. In that range, if it is above the range or below the range or frequency is very low, normally it is 57.5. It will be set as 57.5 is the worst case. Even if it is dropping below that, then power quality is to be maintained. Then they will take necessary actions to rectify give the good power supply, quality power supply to the consumer. Communication with other intelligent devices. Communication means intelligence. What are the type test covers? In case of type test, whatever I showed in the previous presentation, it is a DNS, COSEM or DNS, a protocol testing. Now what I am coming up is type testing. Type testing, it is supposed to have a high insulation properties as we expect, and should have a good accuracy. Why accuracy is important? If it is very poor accuracy, then if it is reading less than to actual consumption, then it is a loss to the utility. Or if it is a reading more compared to actual power consumption, then it is a consumer has to pay more to the utility. So accuracy is very important, very important. And in case of in the last class I told you, in case of CT/PT operated meters, 0.2 accuracy also possible, or 0.5, 1% is possible. In case of whole current static meters, it is only, in case of whole current meters, it is only 1 or 2% is allowed. In case of CTPT, 0.2, 0.5 or 1 is possible, depending upon the utilities requirement. Test of electromagnetic compatibility. In case of, excuse me, in case of nearby, there is some equipment which is working on electromechanical, electromagnetic induction or something, like any electromagnetic instrument is working near to the meter, then that should not adversely affect the reading of the meter, recording of the energy. That also will be verified. Climatic conditions. Climatic conditions, why it is required? The meter may be used in case, maybe I may be using the meter in the Bombay, that means high humid. I may be using the meter in the Kashmir, where it goes to minus 15 also. I may be using in Bhopal, the maximum temperature go to up to 45 degrees in the summer, or Rajasthan in even 48, 50. Last time it is just 50 degrees centigrade. So different environmental conditions, it has to work. The same meter will be supplied or installed at different regions of the nation. In all the regions, in all the circumstances, it should be able to record correctly without hampering the operations. It's basic operation. So we will verify the performance of the meter in this climatic influence testing also. Test of mechanical equipments. There may be why mechanical equipments are required. While transportation from manufacturing into utility and utility to the consumer, it need to be transported through vehicles, road by road or by ship or by plane and all okay. But in case of road, it may happen to have vibrations, shocks, some sort of shock and vibrations are exerted on the meter. In such conditions, the meter should record correctly and without hampering its basic functionalities. Right, sir? Next is test of meter. Okay, load switch requirements. Load switch should operate whenever there is a malfunctioning or in the command from the end system, and it should not get lashed or welded, as in case of low rated switch is used for high currents. Then when we are switching on and off, the contacts will get welded, and it is or it would get permanently opened, whatever depending upon that status, and operations are adversely affected. That should not happen. So load switch also will be verified. In case of single phase, it is one switch will be used, but a switch at the neutral end is optional depending upon the utility. Normally, many utilities are not using load switch in case of in neutral circuit. Only in case of single phase, one load switch will be used at the output terminals, or in case of three phase, 3 load switches will be used. All 3 are independent. Okay, sir. Next is load switch requirements. Okay, data read and test. We have to verify, as per the standard, we have to verify the data read capability. Not definitely we are verifying the meter data read. We are verifying at protocol testing during DLMS testing, but in tape testing also we need to verify the data reading. Why it is to be done? Okay, in case of power consumption, I will be going to detail why it is to be verified. That means after some of the tests, apart from the normal functionalities, data uploading or communication with HSN or DCU, data consumption unit, you should be able to make correspondence. So to ensure that parameter, that data read test will be conducted at our end, sir, in our lab. DLMS testing, already I have covered this DLMS testing. Now, IS, what are the applicable standards? Again, same thing I have repeated here, sir. Static connect, static meters with it is 164 part 1, both single phase or three phase. Part 2 is for, this is for low current meters, this is for transformer operated meters. Maybe CT, transformer operated means maybe a CT or maybe a PT, sir, anything. And load switch requirements. Load switch requirements, these standards 164 part 1, part 2, now load switch is not there. I want to emphasize here, sir. For load switch operated meters, for transformer operated meters, load switch is not mandatory as of now. But in future, it is going to be a mandatory as per the standard. It is going to be implemented in the standard itself. It is revision is going to happen. According to that, for transformer operated meters also, load switch is mandatory requirement, sir. So the load switch requirement, verification of load switch requirement is described in 15884 or 884. 15884 is referred to prepayment meters. This is connect. This standard is concerned to prepayment meters, and the same features is taken care in case of whole current meters of smart meters. AC induction. What both standards both are available. I have not described about IE. There is these are the IS and IE standards, applicable standards that you can go through. It is available in the Google search also. It is available, but I don't want to spend much time on this. It is just a reference I have given for this. IEC standards for test of immunity, and in all these cases, EMIMC, electromagnetic compatibility, it will verify electromagnetic compatibility, sir. Those standards are covered. Sorry, touch screen, I know. Okay. Okay. This is IEC standards 61,000 4-2, 4-3, 4-4. All this CISPA 22, CISPA 14, 11. All these are basic basic standards which IEC IS standards of product. These are product standards. These standards are product standards. These are the basic standards of for immunity to ESD, HF field. All these things I am going to explain you in detail, sir. But the basic standards are, these are the basic standards for EMC concern. For environmental conditions, other things also, there are different basic standards available, but I am not highlighted being a electrotechnical importance, because most of us are from electrical background and concerned to our field of interest. I have listed out the standards. Otherwise, for each and every test, there are different tests. For mechanical, it is different. For IP, it is different. So if you going on adding that, for climatic, it is different. So it becomes that becomes itself a separate topic. So I don't want to include all those things. Tests. What are the tests? Coming to tests. Now we are talking about tap test. Only tap tests are available? No. Test means there are 3 types of tests. One is type test, acceptance test, and routine test. Why? And here, routine test is subset of acceptance test. Acceptance test is a subset of type test. Why routine tests are required to be carried out, and where it is to be carried out? Where acceptance and type tests are to be carried out? What is their importance and significance? When coming to routine tests, routine tests are conducted at the time of manufacturing. Each and every meter will undergo routine tests. That means some basic like accuracy, insulation properties will be checked at manufacturing place itself. Immediately after manufacturing, they will check whether it is withstood or not. If it not withstood, the meter will be discarded. It will not be sent. But once meters are manufactured and meters are ready for inspection by the utility for accepting the lot, then the officer from the utility, engineer from the utility will go to the manufacturer's premises and verify the basic some basic tests at manufacturing place, and whatever depending upon their criteria. Each utility will be having different criteria, and they will verify as per the list of the the utility, and they will pick up the samples and send it to the third party testing lab to carry out acceptance tests. Why can't type test? When all parameters are covered in type test, why can't we send it to type tests? Why we have to send it to acceptance test only? Why they have to go on acceptance test only? That means the design of the product is already verified by the manufacturer, and the concerned type test reports were submitted to the utility along with the bidding quotation. Then, because we trust, then the design is proven. Then why acceptance test is required? In randomly, some samples will be picked up depending upon the lot size. For example, one example I will tell you, as per prescribed by the standard, or every 1000 and above, the number of samples to be picked up for sample testing, that is acceptance test, is 32. For 100, it is 8 meters has to be picked up. Something they have made a table based on the other standards. It is based on the other standards. Sampling theorem, not sampling theorem, sorry. Sampling size is defined based on the other statistical evaluation of the standards available in the BS. So, acceptance test will be carried out. What are the acceptance tests? Some insulation properties will be verified, accuracy test will be verified, and some other tests like power consumptions and electrical requirements. Electrical requirements also will be verified. Type test, it covers each and every parameter. So it is very important, sir. Type test is very important. Without type testing, a product will not be able to get ISI. Without ISI, no utility is entertained for submitting the quotation or bid. So type test is very important, sir. And that's what in my previous slides I said. In smart meters, DLMS test is also part of type test, sir. Now, type test. What are the tests it covers? Data exchange, that is DLMS test, mechanical test, electrical test, accuracy test, insulation test. Actually, in the standard, it starts from the insulation properties. It starts from the insulation properties. Insulation properties in this order it will go. Okay, but data exchange, now number of meters selected will be different, sir. For type test, meter is different. For DLMS test, meter is different. for each and everything, meters are different. For example, eight meters are selected from one lot. 3 meters will be sent to tape testing. That is metrological testing, and 1 meter for data testing, and 3 meters for load switching. That I will come to cover in the next slides. How this is single phase meter, how it looks like. What we see at our residence or commercial places or industries. How my test bench, this is a 10 position test bench. That means I can able to test 10 meters at a time for its accuracy, or some 40%, yeah, 30 to 40% of the test I can able to conduct in the test bench directly, automatically. This is state-of-art technology. It is a state-of-art technology, having state-of-art technology. It once my software, that means template, is already defined as per the standard, as per 169, as per 169 part 1 or part 2 or 139, 14884 or whatever the standard it is. All these parameters are defined. The templates are made and filled, saved in the computer. In this computer will, I can call the template based on my requirement. When I am doing the testing, the mandatory requirement is I-basic and I-max of all the meters should be same, but meter constant could be different, because I could able to feed different meter constant. Hope all of you know aware. Otherwise, I will take a small brief about I-basic. I-basic, sorry, not I-basic. Meter constant. As in case of watt meters, everybody of us used. In case of if you are using an analog watt meter, there is a meter constant will be defined. Similarly, here also meter constant is defined. Here, how that is related means this black colored sensors. You can 10 sensors for each meter. One sensor is there. That means optical output. If you look at the meter in your residence, the LED will be blinking. If more power, there is a more power, it blinks very fast. Normally it will be 800 impulse per second, or 1600 impulse per second, or 32 impulse per second, or 6400 impulse per second, depending upon the design of the manufacturer. That is not important. The number of blinks happened on the meter will be recorded through the optical sensors. Each meter is fitted with one optical sensor. This optical sensor will pick up the sensor, and I can program this in my while programming. Before starting the test, I can program my meter test sequence in such a way that for each meter, what the meter constant I can feed independently. For each meter, if it is a 1 meter, maybe 3200, the second meter maybe 6400. Doesn't matter. I'm able to feed and able to carry out the testing. So that is the beauty of my system. But I cannot. I-basic and I-max values shall be same. That is mandatory requirement. Otherwise, I will not be able to pass the same current in all the meters. In this case, voltage is applied parallelly, current is applied in sequence. From my source, it will go to first meter, from first meter to second, second to third, and so on, and from last meter, 10th meter to my source back. And whereas in voltage lines, all are going in parallel circuit. This is the beauty of it. So all 6 meters, 10, we have different benches, test benches. The other bench I can show here is 6 position test bench. We have 3 numbers of 6 position test benches, 2 numbers of 3 position test benches. All all these are in addition to 10 position test bench. All these are fully automatic. Apart from that, I'm talking about Bangalore unit. I am having similar test setup at Bhopal and Noida also, sir. In Bhopal unit also, depend to make it easy to the consumer, North India region, to cover the North India region of the India, North India, for North India, they can go to either Noida or Bhopal, depending upon their location, or they can approach CPI Bangalore. We are coming up shortly. We are coming up maybe span of 6 months, maybe at the maximum 6 months. I am expecting is like 6 months. We are at the center of the nation, India, that is Nasik. We are going to establish similar test facilities at Nasik also, sir. This is whoever, if somebody is a consultant or somebody is working on this in this field, they can utilize our test facilities. Here, I would like to emphasize here that we are providing not only test services, not only rendering our test services, but also we are rendering developmental testing assessment. That means, what is meant by developmental assistance? If somebody has designed something and they don't know whether this meter will pass or fail in the actual testing, the test setup is very costly, sir. First of all, I want to emphasize that our test facilities all are very costly affairs, and at designer point or manufacturing point, setting up these test facilities is cumbersome, and the space required is very high, and it is not economically viable. And expertise is also required. Apart from the hardware and the software, expertise is also required. That expertise is not possible. It is built up over the decades, not 1 or 2 years. It is built up over the decades. So, sir, even we are the my colleague Mr. Savala is the chairman of BS committee ETD 13. So we built up, and our director general is the chairman of all standards in electrotechnical standards. So we built up our expertise over the decades, and all utilities and BS blindly trust our trust certificate. That is the confidence we earned over the decades. So you can, for the development test, during development test, you can come and visit us, and with nominal charges, any number of meters. We don't issue the report. But any number of meters in the given time, for example, half a day charges or full day charges. If you are taking a full day, morning to evening, you can test any number of meters for their required test, and you can ensure that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry. So 1.2 microsecond rest time and fall time is 50 microsecond, and 6 kV is the test level. We have to apply 10 positive pulses and 10 negative impulse pulse on the meter. That in different conditions. All terminals live, and that means all live is removed. No power supply is given. All are shorted together. All voltage circuits and current circuits are shorted together, and will be given to the between short of current and voltage circuits to the body. If it is an insulated body, in case of nowadays all meters are polycarbonate meters. So we have to wrap the meter with a copper strip, and then we have to apply between these two. This is the stress. If any auxiliary supply voltage less than or equal to 40 volts, we need not to test. Test is not applicable if auxiliary voltage is less than 40 volts. Then next is high voltage test. It is simple high voltage test. Is insulation properties to detect the to ensure that meter is properly insulated and proper clearance is given and the creepage distance is properly maintained. There are two protective classes are available. One is class 1 and class 2. Class 1 is 2 kV and class 2 is 4 kV. Then what is how do I know that which class is that meter is? On the meter, if you any meter, if you go home at your residence also, a square box can be seen. If it is a square box, then it is a single square box, then it is a 2 kV insulation level. If it is a double square box, that means one is encrypted inside the bigger one, then two square boxes, that means it is a class 2 protection is given and it is voltage level is 4 kV. So it will be applied for 1 minute. Third one is insulation test. Insulation test will be verified at 500 volts and the resistance, the impedance value, whatever, and the resistance value should be more than 10 mega ohms. That is the prescribed. Test of accuracy requirement. Test of accuracy requirement. It is in which mode it has to be conducted. Test of accuracy shall be conducted in all modes, all possible modes. UPF, LPF, ZPF, that means lead, lag, reactive, you just name it the combination. All combinations, in all combinations, we have to verify the accuracy of the meter. It is a mandatory requirement. That means in all conditions, meter is supposed to work accurately within the specified accuracy class. That is the object of this testing. Now, that I will come to later. I think I have made it. Next is meter constant. And we were discussing in the morning that 3200 or 6400 or whatever it is, 800, depending upon the manufacturer design, meter constant. That meter constant, we are verifying the accuracy of the meter with respect to meter constant. But is the meter constant is correct? Is it proportional? How do we verify that? That is also to be verified. Ensure that it is correct and proper within the specified accuracy class. Third one is, next is test of, just I want to give a hint. There are, in metrological testing itself, there are about 57 tests are there total. Accuracy is only one test. Like this, test of meter constant, test of static condition, test of no load condition. If you keep on counting, it will be more than 57 tests are available. And the total time required for just one type testing for of 1 meter or 3 meters, whatever it is not less than 60 working days. 60 working days, sir. The length of the testing is so long. It has to undergo so many test procedures, all the sequences, and we have to maintain the test sequence also, sir. Next is test of starting condition. You should start recording 0.1% of I basic. If it is a 1 ampere, I basic is 1 ampere, then it should start recording at 10 milliampere only. Why it is so stringent? It is because some utilities, most of the utilities will ask 0.05 also. The reason is there is 5 milliampere. Why they insist on 5 milliampere? The reason is if you switch off everything in the house and only you put on the your mobile charging, then the mobile charging current also should be recorded. That is their intention. So 0.05% also it is a requirement for some utilities. 5 milliamperes also they don't want to lose. Whereas in case of mechanical meters, the same thing is about 2% or something like that. I think I forgot now. I forgot now. It is 2%. Starting current is 2%. 2% of the I basic, because it is electromechanical meter. So that means the principle of operation is electrodynamic system. It works under electrodynamic system. For energization of the coil, to bring the momentum or in the rotating disc, that much of power is required. That power is consumed only in the from the supply voltage only. So that till that time it will not able to record. Even 10 watts bulb, if you put with electromechanical meter, it will not record at all. Whereas nowadays, even if you switch off all appliances in the home and put your mobile on charging, even that small current also it will record using static meters, smart meters. So utility will not lose their revenue. That is the main intention. Next is test of no load condition. Why it is no load condition is required? For example, we are out of station. We switch off all the appliances in the home. In the factory, night time they switch off everything. And in case V reference value is increased to 115%. In that case also, the meter should not start recording the something abrupt value. It should not start recording the energy consumption. So to make foolproof, that means consumer should not be punished. It is to protect the interest of the consumer. They have made that V reference, V voltage is increased to 115% of V reference, and current circuit is open. There is no current in the current circuit. Now I want to say that in the impulse testing also I said current circuit and voltage circuit. Why current circuit and voltage circuits are different here? Here I would like to emphasize that this all meters, power meters or energy meters, all are working on the principle of phantom loading. They are working on phantom loading. That means voltage circuit is different, current circuit is different. When you apply voltage to the voltage circuit and current to the current circuit, it starts consuming. It starts registering the energy. For example, if I am supply voltage, example I am telling you, I squared R, 1 ampere if I am passing current, R, okay, V squared by R, V squared by R, if resistance is V 240 into 240 by 240, VI cos phi. Okay, simple example I will take, sir. 1 ampere I am passing, VI cos phi. Cos phi is also 1, current is 1, 240, only 1 ampere if I am passing, 240 volts it is consuming. When I am doing testing at 30 amps, that means into 30 times, that means 7.2 kilowatts for each meter. If I am set according to the standard 3 meters at a time to be tested, up to 3 meters. Now it is reduced to 1 meter. In case of static meters, 3 meters to be tested. In case of smart meters, only 1 meter can be tested. In case static meter, if I am testing 7.2 kilowatts, in each case, I need a big substation only for testing the energy meter. It is not viable. It is not at all viable. So what I will do is phantom load. Voltage circuit is different. Current circuit is different. I will apply voltage to the voltage circuit, current to the current circuit, and meter will assume that actual load we are drawing actual load. Accordingly, it will register the energy. And I have shown my setup, test setup, 10 position, 6 position, 3 position, and all. Those test setup have a feasibility to adjust the to adjust the phase difference between voltage and current, I can able to set. I can able to set active energy. I can able to set reactive energy in leading power factor and lagging power factor. All combinations. That means I am able to operate energy meter in all 4 quadrants. That is my main emphasis here. So accordingly, it should not register when I am at no load condition also. You should not register any energy to keep the interest of the consumer. Test of repeatability. If I am keep on testing, the meter should still maintain the same accuracy levels. But will it be possible to maintain the same value? No, it may not be possible. Small variations. Then what is that variation? So every 20 minutes, every span of every 20 minutes, interval of 30 minutes, we need to take it as per the IS 164, it is 30 minutes. 167, it is 20 minutes. I have to take the set of readings for 2 hours. Then that means 20 errors, total 20 errors we have to take. Then at any difference between maximum to minimum, it is as per the depending upon the accuracy class. Depending upon the accuracy class, it is 0.7 or 1.5 something. It is they have gone. If it is a class 2, it is a 1.5. It is a 0.7 in case of class 1 accuracy. So it has to be maintained. It has to be maintained. So test of repeatability of error is required. That means they all are falls into the some plus or minus so much. It will not go beyond that. Voltage variation. In case of fluctuations in the voltage, will the meter will read the correct value? Will it record, sir? Will it voltage variation? That means with the variation of for the same load, for example, 10 HP motor, it is running. Voltage is varying from within tolerance limits only. It is varying, maybe plus or minus 10% or 20%. In all the cases, we have to verify. Here I have shown V plus or minus 10% and plus or minus 20%. That means 240 plus 24, I have to verify. 240 minus 24, I have to maintain. 240 plus 48 and 240 minus 48. All 4 conditions I have to verify at UPF 0.8 V reference at 0.7 perfect, lag and lead both 0.5 I am here at unity power factor and 0.5 lag, both the conditions I have to verify. That means total 8 combinations. In all 8 combinations, it has to be fulfilled. Accuracy to be maintained constant. Frequency variation, even in case of frequency variation, because in case of CT, PT, that means the transformer operated meters, the CTs and PTs which are used, they are core saturation. If it is frequency is reduced, then tendency of core saturation will be there. That is quite natural. It is by natural phenomena, basic phenomena. So in that situation also, meter should record properly. Next, harmonics. Though my system is good, my consumer is good, but the surrounding system, if it is generating any harmonics, it will impact onto the meter. If it is impacted on the meter, if I inject, due to my appliance, some appliance I am using, for example, electronic chokes for our tube lights, I am using electronic choke. Then I am inducing harmonics in the system. By default, it is the harmonics are induced. When I am inducing the harmonics, some motor from 5 HP or 10 HP motor I am using, and its bearings are not good. Some wiring was not good. It generates, as all of us know, that it generates some harmonics in the line. Those harmonics, in that harmonics also, it should perform and record correctly. So when we are giving supply to the voltage circuit, we impose third harmonic up to 10% harmonic we will impose. Third harmonic will impose of 10%. In that condition also, you should record correct value. How do you know that we are comparing correct value? How do you know that what we are injecting is correct? For that, we use, in parallel to the meter test, we use one more reference meter with us. That is 0.02 accuracy. That means it is 200 ppm. 0.02 accuracy means it is 200 ppm. I am using 200 ppm accuracy meter to verify the accuracy of the meter under test. Then next come to reverse phase sequence. In case of reverse phase sequence also, it should record correctly. The meter should record correctly. Test of ambient temperature influence. That these are the conditions. Plus or minus 15% ambient. Normally we consider it as a 27-degree ambient. We consider. So coefficient value is defined. Formula is defined. That means error. This is a chamber. This is the dry chamber. I mean, temperature only can be changed. Humidity cannot be controlled in this chamber. In this, if it is 27 minus 15, that is 12, and 27 plus 15, 42, we, at both the temperatures, after stabilization, first we set it to 42, and after stabilization, we will take a reading. That means accuracy of the meter we will verify. Similarly, at minus 15 degrees, at minus 15 also we will take, that is 12 degrees centigrade also, we stabilize it, and then measure the accuracy of this meter under test. This is the peep window for a meter to see what is happening in the inside the meter. And after verifying the meter, after obtaining the temperature coefficient to be maintained, evaluated. That means this is general formula. They all are immune. They all are good meters. Normally, all are stabilized. Previously, they were, when static meters were introduced, many meters were getting failed. Now failure rate is reduced drastically. Drastically means drastically. If I am not wrong, it is not less than, it is maybe around 1% failure rate. I have not made any statistics, but my experience, according to my experience, it is like that. Temperature range is 30 degrees. That means minus 15 to plus 15. So the temperature range is 30 degrees. Voltage unbalanced. In case of voltage unbalance, still that means one phase is failed at all. Maybe fuse has blown out and MCB is whatever the case may be. In all the cases, meter should continue to record correctly. And DC component. In this case, to conduct this DC component, we need to have another meter of symmetrical meter, another symmetrical meter, so that first half cycle, that means positive half cycle will be passed through the meter under test, and the negative half cycle will be passed through another dummy meter. Otherwise, my circuit will not close. To compensate my circuit proper compensation, I need to have balance of positive and negative pulses to go in straight. So I have to use one more meter for balancing the current, balancing the input and output currents. Then accuracy will be maintained within the tolerance limits. AC and DC magnets influence. When AC and DC magnet, why it is required? Because a motor may be working, a transformer may be nearby, For example, I told you just now. I told you ABT meters or boundary meters. In case of boundary meters, threshold meters, it is all those meters are installed near to transformer only. When it is transformer, if it is a perfect transformer, all electromagnetic influence will be grounded. If it is a proper grounding or thing is there, then it will be earth. Otherwise, if we are working something improper earthing or something or nearby this thing, some magnet influence will be there. In such case, also meter will be tested and the meter should record energy correctly. Record energy correctly. So these are the conditions. For AC magnet, 400 ampere turn, that means this ampere turn I will come to later. 0.5 millitesla, 10 millitesla, and 0.2 Tesla. Previously, all three were there. Now, 0.2 Tesla, that means 200 millitesla is removed in recent publication of the standard. Only 0.5 millitesla and 10 millitesla we are testing as per the standard. This ampere turn, in what case it should be? That means the coil, these are the coils, these are the two coils, one is AC and the other one is DC. In both the cases, 400 ampere turn, at the 400 ampere turn, the 0.5 millitesla has to be generated. Still, dimensions also they have given. Those things, minute things are all available in the standard. I have not briefed, otherwise presentation itself will get diverted. So, 400 ampere turn is very important. 2800 ampere turn is very important. So, at the time of manufacturer making imminent to procure for the procurement, we specify this is the ampere turn rate. Ampere turn should be maintained. That means, because I have mentioned ampere turn, I have mentioned the magnetic field strength, then the gauge of the wire is also automatically fixed, as all of us know about the formulas. So similarly, DC magnet, it should be 0.67 millitesla or 0.27 millitesla. You should able to, that means any sort of AC, DC magnet, anything, in any circumstances, the meter should record correctly. That is interest. Why? What happened? Chuma. Correct. It has come. Just a power consumption. Now, we discussed that there are voltage circuit and current circuit. In case of three phase, three current circuits are there. In case of single phase, only one current circuit is there. In case of three phase, voltage circuits are three, and the current single phase only one. In all cases, the because of voltage is fed to the voltage and the current is fed to the current circuit, the consumption by the power consumption by the coil itself, coil and its associated circuit, both together, should be within the limits. What is that limit? Again, it is explained. It is explained. You, sir, just I will prefer. Sir, I got alarm that I have to wind up fast, and influence of supply voltage. That means here just for 1 second it is off, and 50 milliseconds. That is 1 cycle. It is on, and like this cycles will be there. Still, it has to stand and record properly. Similar way, there are different wave shapes as per the standard. Again, they all are derived from the reference standard, sir. 61004 series. 50% of that influence of short circuit time. Again, 0.5 seconds. It should be done 20 times of 5 minutes. 20 times of IMAX for 0.5 seconds, it should be standard. If it is a CTAC method. In case of whole current meter, it is 10 milliseconds and 30 times it has to operate. Influence of self-heating. Because if I am drawing at my IMF, it should start continuing, and my meter should not get damaged or get fire or catch fire, or it should give abnormal behavior of the meter. That also we have to verify. Test of influence of heating. By heating the meter, it should not engaging by 115%. It should not get. That means observation: temperature rise of the terminal block and meter case shall not be more than 20 degree at an ambient temperature of 45 degrees. When the meter is kept on in the oven at 45 degrees, the terminal voltage rise shall not be more than 20 degrees. It should not cross 65 at any case. Test of immunity to earth fault. In earth fault, we are taking out the earth terminal and one of the phases. In case of 3 phases, we are giving directly one of the phases to the earth, but it should withstand. Test of climatic conditions. So we are discussing in the morning that the cycle, it has to each cycle is 12 hours, and that means 72 hours. That means 3 days it will go dry heat. It is 70 degrees plus or minus 2 degrees we have to maintain, and cold, this is for dry. For cold heat, it is minus 25. Again, it is 72 hours. That means 3 days it has to run in damped cycle. Temperature also varied, and humidity also varied. At 25 degrees, 96%, and 45 degrees, it is 93%. Humidity is maintained, and the slope is also defined in the standard, and it is a 6 day cycle. Total 6 days. It will each cycle of 24 hours. 6 cycles. That means total 6 days we have to maintain the same conditions, and meter should work properly. That is a very important, sir. To create these ambient conditions, we need to have climatic chamber. We use climatic chamber. This is GTEM used for immunity test setup. That means if electromagnetic wave is imposed on the meter, it should record correct value. First of all, without load, we will test, and there should not be any increment in the meter reading. That is 0.01 kilowatt hour at 100 volts and 1 ampere. At 240 volts and 5 ampere, if basic current is higher, 5 ampere, and V reference is 240 volts, still it should not get incremented by 0.24 something. It comes. I didn't remember that, but it should not get. Mainly because SMPS, whatever the SMPS, whatever we are using inside that, it should create, it will create harmonics or electromagnetic that should not be influenced by this waves. Conducted emission. See, there are the electromagnetic in broad. I went up in 2 minutes, sir. Shanmugam, sir. The electromagnetic is EMC. Electromagnetic influence in 2 parts. One is emission, other one is immunity. The meter should not emit, and the meter should be immune, both the cases. So in conducted and emission, again there are 2 issues. One is conducted emission and radiated emission, and conducted immunity and radiated immunity. So total 4 combinations I can get. That means if it is emitting through wire also, it should not emit. Through air also, it should not emit. In both the cases, it should not emit any. Even if it emits also, it should be within the limits. So just GTEM. Just I am giving. Recently, we have procured one more GTEM. In our case, the GTEM cost is around 3 crores. 3 crores, 2.5 crore, something like that. 2.5 crores, one GTM with the control system and operating system, everything comes around 2.5 crore. So the test system is very costly, sir. What I want to emphasize is even radiated emission, if I want to, conducted emission, if I want to measure, I should have a EMI receiver. That itself is again 1 crore, near about 1 crore. So test setup is very costly, sir. Very costly. Just I want to give the cost of that and maintain the environmental conditions, maintain the traceability of calibration, periodic calibration, maintaining the NABL accreditation and BS and DEVA accreditation. All are very huge access. This itself is a huge access. I want to emphasize that. Next is in conducted immunity. In conducted immunity, there are different tests. One of them is fast transient burst. Probably all of you might have read in textbooks or somewhere else. Like impulse is also one of the EMC only. So fast transient burst is one thing. Second one is ESD. What is ESD? When, especially in winter, when we are getting up from the chair, we'll get a shock. How do you get shock from the insulated material? Because it is electric discharge. The accumulated charge will be get discharged. So similarly, when we are touching, because polycomponent meters and other meters, whatever we are, when we are touching it, if our body is already charged, that discharge should not affect the operation or components used inside the meter. That is the intention. And voltage levels and test duration and how many cycles, all are as per the standards. Test of mechanical components. Okay, it is in CPRM only. Sir, 5 minutes. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, I got it. Okay, sir. Test of mechanical equipments, we briefly in the morning, and blower test. This is at 960 degrees we are heated, and we are with some pressure we are exposing to the meter, and after it burnt, but only a small hole made. That is also not peeped completely. A part of that layer is disturbed, but is intact. That is very important. And this is next is annexer. Load switch testing. All load switch testings different. Mainly here, I will tell 3 things. G3, that is electrical endurance test, is very important. Major testing and fault current making capacity. In case of fault, there is a fault. If switch is getting closed, it should not be damaged. The load switch should not be damaged. Short circuit carrying capacity. When it is carrying current, if short circuit happens, it should withstand that. So all these are the main topics I want to cover. Now floor is open for questions. I can take up 1 or 2 questions because time is running out. Please, sir.
Yeah, any questions are there? Please put it in a chat box. So we will ask, otherwise we will wind up. Any questions from the audience? Participants, please. So, however, if you have any questions, please drop mail to me.